the most severe in terms of cyclone damage we've ever had, both in terms of lives lost and also massive infrastructure damages and the dislocation it caused to the people of Fiji. And in specific terms, we had 44 people who died, 350,000 people of our total population, about 900,000 directly affected one way or another, which means dislocations. They have to be moved out of their immediate communities for purposes of relief and later on followed by rehabilitation. The other cost damages that we have are infrastructure, of course, both hospitals, roads, schools. The entire rural health system is in the areas hardest hit. The areas hardest hit, 90 to 100% housing destroyed. So that's another big problem that we saw. In that context, you can see the extent of the damage is quite severe. And it's going to take a while for rebuilding to take place. In terms of where we are at the moment, we are now completing what we call the relief assessment process. This is where the early stages of immediately after the cyclone, the emergency effort were actually in just trying to save lives and sustaining them on a daily basis. So the relief efforts that has come through with the assistance of the international community, and Japan included, has been massive. And that stage in the post-tropical cyclone Winston period is now coming to an end. And the second stage is kicking in. This is where we start looking at long-term rebuilding process for them. And we are looking at a conference to be held in Fiji at the end of this month, 29th of April, for donor partners to make pledges in areas of support, particularly in the major infrastructures that has been destroyed. For us, of course, Japan remains a main focus for many reasons. One, because of your experiences with similar natural disasters in the past, particularly in the Tohoku instance. And then and also because we want to rebuild Fiji to be more resilient, to look at the good practices and the experience of Japan. In the medium to long term, of course, government is now focusing at looking at how we can rehabilitate the life, rebuild it. And because in the hardest hit areas, there is a need sometimes to temporarily relocate people so that their houses to be rebuilt. But the major areas that will need assistance from overseas is in roading, rebuilding of infrastructures like bridges, schools devastated badly, community health centers, and in some cases 2 or 3 subdivisional hospitals. Those are areas that in the medium to long term we are looking at assistance from overseas to assist us. There is, for the first time now, the government will need to look at rebuilding houses which are owned by individuals, because, as I said, in the hardest hit area there has been as much as 90 to 100% destruction of homes. So our government will make a major announcement in the next day or two on how it will assist in that areas. It will give us an opportunity to provide an overview of the damage, what we have done so far, what we have received in terms of relief assistance from international communities, including Japan, and also what are we going to do in the future, and how our partners, in this case Japan and the people in Japan and NGOs and business organizations, could participate. I think we are going to bounce back better, more resilient, and as a country a little bit more stronger than where we were. The experiences has been difficult, it's traumatic in a lot of areas. For me personally, it's the first time I've seen so much devastation in a very personal way, and therefore it's kind of mind-boggling to understand what the people in Tohoku went through. When Tohoku went through, my wife and my secretary went to Tohoku to volunteer. When they came back, they were talking about this, how natural disaster can dehumanize a person. And then first time I've seen it now in Fiji. Those are the kind of expertise and experiences I hope Japan can share with us. Because it's not only the physical infrastructure that needs to be rebuilt, it's the individual person, to bring them back to believing in themselves, to keep on smiling, even though things are hard. Fiji has to be the way the world should be again, the happiest country.